550 KTRS. We have the shooting in Orlando, which more information is coming out about now. They're saying that the gunman had looked at and cased Disney as well as the gay club in early June. That's new information coming out. We'll get to all of that here in a bit. Also, I've got some thoughts on Microsoft buying LinkedIn for $26 billion. But something happened Sunday night, which is sort of a pretty special deal here in St. Louis. Who knew that one of the most powerful producers in America reside right here in St. Louis? Fox Theatricals, along with some of the biggest names, well, they are one of the biggest names, took home the Tony for Best Play, The Humans. Last year, they took home the Tony for Best Musical with Fun Home. Jack Fivo, president and CEO of Fox & Associates, joins us. Jack, congratulations. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Thank you. Absolutely. Happy to be here.
You got it. So what's in the water over there? I mean, you guys just can't be lucky. You've done this time and time and time again. What's the magic to the success?
Well, I think there's a little bit of luck in the magic, but I also think that we have a couple of great producers. Kristen Kasky, who is the president of Theatricals, and Mike Isaacson, who is one of our lead producers. They seem to be able to see and really understand what the people want, what the audiences want to see, and how to nurture the up-and-coming great plays and musicals into being very successful.
So I know Red is a whole. You guys should do a story on just Red and how that came to be. But let's talk about The Humans here first. When did you guys know? Because I remember last year after Fun Home, you guys were all giddy and all thrilled, and I said, "What's in the pipeline?" And you guys said, "Well, all sorts of things," but nobody mentioned The Humans. So was that on the radar? Was this a smash hit even by your? Well, I guess the other question is, did you guys know you had something special with The Humans?
So, yeah, Mike and Kristen both started working on The Humans before I even arrived here at the Fox. I've been here since mid-January. And just to clarify a little bit, Fun Home, we were the lead producer, which is really the day-to-day activities of producing the show.
Okay.
The Humans, the lead producer is Scott Rudin, and we're thrilled to be able to support him in bringing the show to Broadway. But the way Mike described it to me is he saw this show and immediately thought there was something there, and got on the phone and called Kristen and said, "You need to see this show," and got her down to see it within a day or two. Mm-hmm. And they knew there was some magic there, and instantly wanted to be part of that. And I think it's their eyes and their ears being able to sense what the right thing is. It's just another great addition to the American theater scene.
Yeah. So how does that work? Do you join Scott Rudin? Do you go in and say, "Here's Scott Rudin, here's some money, here's what it is we want to do"? How does all that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So when there is this great idea, the producers of the show look to bring in partners to help them realize the show in a Broadway commercial space. A little bit of it is us reaching out to other folks, and some is the other producers reaching out to us. It's really a partnership, and through the great relationships that have been made over the past 15 years or so, a lot of those relationships, the same producers work together in varying roles, sometimes being a lead producer and sometimes being a supporting producer. So
Scott Rudin, I think, was the one, isn't he the one who got up on stage and with the 20 people behind him said, "This is what it takes to bring a Broadway play to stage these days"? I mean, that's a Herculean task to get something like that on the stage.
Absolutely. So you need to have the right show, you need to have the right backing and the right performers, but also on Broadway you need to have a theater available. So many times there are more shows wanting to get on Broadway than there are even available Broadway theaters to perform in. So a little bit of it is being in line to get into the right theater at the right time.
So how is it possible that little old Mike Isaacson from St. Louis University here in town and Fox Theatricals is able to create such great things from St. Louis. I would think Broadway producers, with the hits you've had and the Tonys you guys have on your bookcase, all that has to be done in New York, and yet it's done right here in St. Louis.
So Kristen does live in New York, and she is in our New York office and based there and is there every day. Mike Isaacson at this point probably has more frequent flyer miles than most people do.
Right.
So he, of course, is back and forth between his work as artistic director at the Muni and working with us on these great shows in New York. So he is back and forth. And a lot of the business of producing a Broadway show actually happens in an office. Everyone thinks about being in the rehearsals and being there in the theater, and yes, that is all part of it, but so much of the work prior to that point happens in the office. It can really be done from virtually anywhere in the world.
Yeah, so I mentioned Red, which was a play that only had a limited run a couple years ago, right? They did it just because they wanted to do it, and that shocked the world and won for Best Play, but mostly it's been musicals. So when The Humans comes to St. Louis, is it going to be at the Fox Theater?
Well, right now The Humans hasn't announced any formal tours, so we haven't really looked at that yet and figured out if that makes sense at the Fox Theater. In New York, it is in a very intimate theater, and the play itself really sucks the audience in and really makes you feel like you're part of the play. It's a very intimate show.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be right for the Fox Theater or not. We would certainly, if it does tour, want to support it, whether it's here at the Fox or at another theater here in St. Louis.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. So what's in the pipeline? What's going to be next year's musical smash hit?
Well, I sent that same question to Kristen just a few days ago. And we do have a number of things that are in development, but nothing yet that we can talk about, and nothing at all that I am ever going to say, boy, this is a sure smash hit, because I think the only sure thing is nothing is ever sure.
Yeah. All right, so you guys also made some news. Hamilton is coming to the Fox.
Absolutely. We are really excited about Hamilton coming here. We have it in its first year of touring, and for a market like St. Louis, I think that is pretty spectacular. It shows the strength of the Broadway audience here in St. Louis, and with a over 4,000-seat theater, we're going to be able to pack them in.
Yeah, and did I see Fun Home is coming to St. Louis too?
It is. Fun Home will be here this season, November 15th to the 27th.
Yeah, and we should make mention that Mary Strauss took over the Fox Theater. It was closed up for a while. She renovated it, brought it back to life, and I've asked her this every time she's been on this show, and I'll ask you, do you know how much she got in tax subsidies to reopen the Fox Theater?
I don't.
I do. The answer is zero. She didn't get a nickel.
There we go.
Yeah, so she did it all on her own. It was a business adventure. She opened up, and those are the true geniuses, right? The ones who aren't living necessarily off the public dole, but doing it with their own money and all the success. Hey, I got to tell you, Jack, people don't realize it. People understand that you guys bring the Broadway shows here, but to be able to produce and this winning streak you guys are on in New York and for the Tonys is nothing short of truly amazing, and we thank you for all of your work. You ever need us for anything? You need a local radio talk show host to be on stage for something? I think you know where to find him.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You got it, Jack. Jack Fivo is the president and CEO of Fox & Associates, talking about the Tony Award they won Sunday night for The Humans. They teamed up with Scott Rudin, and as they said, they were the lead producer on Fun Home, which is coming to the Fox. And by the way, Mike Isaacson is, right, he's in charge of the Muni. So in the Muni season, I think it debuted last night, right? Wizard of Oz. I'm going to be there tonight. But this season at the Muni is over the top, fantastic. Fiddler, I'm going to forget one, but they got Fiddler on the Roof. They got Young Frankenstein. They've got a couple other ones, Wizard of Oz tonight. And then they're going to end it with, I think, my all-time favorite, a very little known, it shouldn't be, Tim Rice and Elton John, Aida, which is a fantastic musical in which not either you know it and you love it or you've never heard of it. But the people who've seen it love it. Aida is fantastic, and they're gonna finish up. Oh, yeah, and they got Mamma Mia, too. but they're going to finish up with Aida. So this season at the Muni is going to be fantastic. I will be there tonight for